Welcome to the Introduction to Computer GSS 211 virtual class. And my name is Engineer Sahon Okoro. I'll be walking us through what this program is all about, how we can participate in the program, and and the various courses that we are going to be taking in the course of this program. Now, okay, now the first thing I would like to make us understand is how to participate in a lecture. Assuming that I'm a student now, or I'm referring to students now, and you will need to know how to participate in the lecture, and we will need to evaluate you properly so that we can be able to um, give you what you need to know. The first thing first is that you will need to go on your phone to Play Store, Google Play Store, and download the program. And Telegram opens for you. This is what you will see on your screen. Telegram, and then install. So you click on install. When you click on install, you'll see that it will be downloading the app from the Telegram site. Just wait for it to download. When it is done downloading, you will see it will automatically install by itself. After installing by itself, you will now see open here. So immediately you see open, now you are halfway done. Just click on open. When you click on open, it's now time for you to open the Telegram. The Telegram app opens before you, but first it wants to take your phone number. So in order for you to take your phone number, what you will see is this screen. Just click on start messaging, and you will see the place where you have to type in your number. Insert your number, and then immediately it sends you a code on Telegram. But if you feel that if you don't know how to locate the code on Telegram, you can just click on send the code as an SMS, and you will see it coming in as an SMS. The code that they sent to you, key it there, and immediately you do that, Telegram opens. Now that your program has successfully installed on your phone, it is of paramount need, based on how this program should be run, that you use your name. You need to edit your name in the Telegram group to be your name the way you registered in the department. Then after your name, it's in brackets, you will put your mark number. With that, we can be able to score you attendance, because everybody that will be on this screen thereafter, someone is going to be scoring attendance. But if your name is maybe something that we don't have on our records, we will simply take the person out of the Telegram group or out of the training. So if your name is not properly itemized there, we will not know who and who is talking. So the first thing first is for you to come to this menu bar, and maybe you click on it. This whole menu comes up, and you come here to edit your name just by clicking on it. Edit your name and put your passport. Your passport must be there, your name must be there, your mark number must be in brackets, and your number. With that, we know that you are fully registered. Now, I will be taking questions also, but if you have any question, you cannot see me now because I am using a slide. I'm sharing my my video, my screen with the app. So I took away the video so you can see my screen for during the lectures. But I can as well stop the share so you can now see me. But for now, during lectures, you don't need to see me. Just see my slides. My lecture notes with definitely my slides. So with that, you can be able to go through my lectures. Sorry, let me just quickly pick. There's someone is trying to chat with me. Okay. Okay. So sorry. Let me continue. So now that you've edited the name and your passport and your mark number, then the next thing you need to do. Is to look at this link. It will be given to your class rep for you to join the Telegram group. There's a Telegram group for every class. So the Telegram group will have a link, which for this is for Introduction to Computer. So immediately click on this group. Immediately you click on this link, you are going straight to the Telegram group. Are you with me? So haven't gotten that, you should see something like this on maybe your WhatsApp platform, and immediately you click on it, it takes you straight to the Telegram group. And then immediately you are there, this on the left, on this side of this screen, is what you will use your login requirements to join any group. But before you can be able to join a group, you first of all have to register with in the coordinator's office. Your name, we will need to have your name, your mat number. If you have done a full registration, then you don't have any problem. Immediately you click on the group. The first thing that happens is that you would immediately go to the Zoom lecture, and you are there. But if peradventure you did not register with us properly while in the Zoom lectures, you will be logged out, because it's only those that are registered that will have live sessions with us. That's one. Second thing is that you will also ensure, like I said earlier on, your name and your mat numbers should both be on your Telegram username section. Having gotten that sorted out, the next thing that you will also need to do is to ensure that you will follow the link that your class rep or the GSS coordinator will give to you to go straight into the Zoom lecture. And you log in with the login credentials we send to your phone, each person, or your login, which is your meeting ID and the password. It's only for those that have registered that will be able to get that will be able to get the meeting ID and the password, and straight up they go into the meeting. So having said that, the next thing is for us to look at the areas of concentration for the materials. When you register in the department, this book will be given to you, and we are going to look at introduction, which is chapter 1. Chapter 2 will be talking about computer hardware and configuration. I'm going to expand on this later, on this very soon. Let me just go through all that you would see on the virtual class. So we are going to teach, we have a group of lecturers that will come and teach you introduction proper, and that's chapter 1. Chapter 2, another set of lecturers will come over to teach you computer hardware and configuration. Then the chapter 3 will be about computer software, and chapter 4 will be data communication and networks. Chapter 5 will be about the internet, and the last is chapter 6, which will be about information protection. Now in chapter 1, we are going to be looking at the types and classes of computers. Now, if you open your book, the table of content, the picture is over there, and that's what I'm actually trying to address us with now. The first thing that we'll look at is the types and classes of computers. Then we'll now look at the historical background of the computer, whereby we'll now have to start talking about the abacus, the slide rule, the mechanical calculators, Jacob loop, and the rest. So after that, we'll now look at the generations of computers. The very first set of computers, looking at the vacuum tube era, the transistor era, and the era of the integrated circuits. So all that will be taught in chapter 1. Then lastly, we will end with the types and classes of computers. Now, the lecturers that we take this chapter 1 is Dr. Iwaraipe Ariko, is a senior lecturer in the Department of Computer Science, and that's his email address. You can reach him. If you have any question, or if you want to submit your assignments, because they will give you assignments, and you will send the assignments directly to their email address. Then for chapter 1, you have Dr. Ariko and Dr. Mrs. Seteng. She's also a lecturer in computer science, and she's a senior lecturer. She will be the one to handle, she and Dr. Ariko will handle chapter 1 for you. Then for chapter 2, we are going to be looking at computer hardware configuration. And in computer hardware configuration, we are going to be looking at first the input and output devices. followed by memory. Then we'll now look at auxiliary memory, then central processing units. We are going to talk about all those. And lastly, we're going to talk about, we'll talk about hardware connections before we'll talk about storage parameters. And we also look at chapter 3, which will be talking about application software, system software, levels of programming languages, and of various forms of programs. And the lecturers I will be taking you for chapter 2 is Associate Professor um, Dr. Edin Azam. He's also a lecturer in computer science department, and that's his email address over there for you to send your assignments or whatever he gives to you via the virtual class for you to relate with him one on one. And that's for chapter 2. And we also have Dr. Felix Ogban. He's going to also join Professor Azam Emmanuel to teach you about the computer hardware configurations, all those that I talked about. Then chapter 3, we have Mr. Osam Okoro. He's an assistant lecturer in computer science department, and that's his email address. They are going to talk about the application software, the system software, levels of programming languages, and forms of programs that you have there. So the next chapter, which is chapter 4 is going to cover data communications and networks. And we are going to be looking at the types of communications, whether it's going to be look at point-to-point communication, look at point-to-multi-point communication, broadcasting, simplest communication, half duplex and full duplex. You will need to know the difference between all these. So we are going to be talking about all that. And secondly, we'll talk about the goals of computer networking, the essence why we need networks in the first place. But please let me explain to you, or let me make you understand that nothing exists in the distributed network unless you have the level of computing, associated to it. And let me interrupt let me quickly inject this into the discussion that the computing world is ruled by computer networks. So this topic is a very, very important topic that we will need to look at. And after looking at the goals of computer networking, we also have types of networks: local area network, wide area network. We are just going to give you a brief summary of all it takes to have a network. And then after that, we now go to network topologies, the various types of flavors of network we can have out there, so that you as a student, when you see these networks, you'll be able to tell, okay, this is a bus topology, this is a star topology, this is a ring topology, this is a mesh topology. You should be able to differentiate between these. So a lecturer will take you through all that. And after that, we'll now talk about the network devices. The modem you always play with and be using to browse, the MTN modem, universal modems, and rest. You'll be told about all that. You will also be told about the difference between what a hub is, repeaters, routers, switches, network interface cards. You'll be given all those. Then lastly, we're going to end with the client servers, the back-end devices that manages the entire network. So we'll talk about all that. And the lecturers that are going to lecture this particular chapter is Dr. Moses Agana, and Dr. Bassi Ile. They are going to teach this course. You can see Dr. Moses Agana is a senior lecturer in computer science department, and that's his email address for you to also reach out to him and send your answers to questions or assignments that he gives to you in class. And the next person is Dr. Bassi Ile. Is a lecturer in computer science department also. Then we'll now talk about chapter 5. In chapter 5, we'll be talking about the internet. What makes the internet tick? Why do everybody talk about internet? Do you really know what the use or how to use the internet? Do you really know how to surf the internet and get information from it that will help you in your studies? That is the essence of this particular chapter. So we are going to be talking about the use of the internet, the trending ways of how to search for information in a search engine. All the techniques will be taught to you through in this section. After that, we'll now look at the historical perspective of the internet. How did the internet come into being? Why do we refer to it as internet? Why don't we refer to it as the extranet or whatever name that people call networks nowadays? So, what is the big deal about the internet? We are going to talk about all that. And after talking about all that, we'll now introduce us to what they call the World Wide Web, making most times you often refer to it as the global village. So with www, most times when you type this www on a URL, what is it all about? We'll need to explain that to you in these chapters. The lecturers are coming up with very fantastic use cases that will make us to understand this properly. Next thing is about the internet protocols. Actually, in a network or the internet is actually is a short form for internet working. So, and on the internet, what happens behind the scene? There are a set of instructions, which is also referred to as protocols, that has been typed to do specific functions. And all these protocols will be explained to us, like the first hypertext terminal protocol that you often use in browsing. Your lecturer will come and make you understand why you should use HTTP and why you shouldn't, and the secured form of HTTP, and all that you need to, how to recognize a secured website. All those are done with internet protocols. We have the TCP/IP stack. You need to understand all that, how it works. We have this SMTP for mailing, and we have the POP and telnet protocols. We have the FTP. All these protocols are what they do and how you can use them. They will be taught in the course of this class. Thereafter, we'll now move to internet services, where we have the web addressing, we have the emailing and rest. You will be fully taught on the levels of how to go about them. Lastly, we end this section, this chapter, with bulletin board services. That's how to work with search engines for browsing, how to use the World Wide Web versus the internet. All that will be taught you. And the lecturers that will handle this particular course is Dr. Ayo Essien. He's a lecturer in computer science department, and is a decorated lecturer in the department. So they are the ones that will come with their wealth of knowledge to explain this via this forum or platform. The second lecturer will be Dr. David O. Egete. He's also a senior lecturer in the computer science department, and he will bring his wealth of knowledge to form in this chapter. And lastly is our whiskey, Dr. Aye Ibo, a lecturer in computer science department also. You have all their contacts there for you to send them emails, asking them questions, or submit your assignment virtually. And having said that, the last but not the least, which is chapter 6, will be information protection. Information protection, we are familiar with the word hacking and cybercrime. Cool. So, but these people will come and teach us, or these lecturers are coming to teach us what computer crime is all about and what computer virus, definition of what computer virus really is. So the lecturers that will teach this particular course, Mr. Iwara Ofem Obono and Mr. Sylvester I Ele. So that is their contact, and this is Obono Ofem, who will take this last chapter. And thereafter, we believe that by teaching you in this form, you will be able to grab all that is being said. But if peradventure you are not registered, because if you're not registered, you will not be able to take part in this live lectures. But if paraventure you have not registered and you want to view this lecture, there will be a YouTube channel that will be created, and the lectures will be edited, the videos will be edited and placed on the YouTube channel. So you can now go back and view them at your own pace before the time for exam. And then for further inquiry and discussion regarding this topic, you can meet the coordinator. You can go to the coordinator's office in computer science department. Coordinator is Dr. Fem Ajao Fem. He's a senior lecturer in the Department of Computer Science, and that's his email address. I want to thank you for taking that time to listen to me. Thank you very much.